My 2021 Ohio State football predictions is right now. Tomorrow, Ohio State will be starting their 2021 football season. I am excited. Football, I love to watch it. Ohio State's definitely my favorite team, especially in college. So, today I want to go over the 2021 season and go over each game and what my score prediction is. The first game, Ohio State faces off. They face Minnesota at Minnesota. Of course, Ohio State has a new quarterback. He's only played one play last year. Of course, in the 2021, or 2020 rather, football season, it's pretty hard for you to get your backups in when you only play 7 games the entire season, especially considering 2 of them were playoff games, and the other ones you weren't even looking that good, even though you won. So, I think these first 2 games, I have Ohio State kind of I don't have them losing, but they are going to be taking a step back. No matter what, you're going to take a step back when you have Justin Fields leaving for the Bears, and you bring in a new quarterback, and you got all this stuff going on. You know, it's hard for me to say that Ohio State would blow out all these teams. So Minnesota, I have Ohio State winning 42-21. It's a 21-point lead. I think that Ohio State will come out in the second half and win it convincingly, but I think the first 2 quarters, Ohio State's just going to struggle, trying to find their way, try to find chemistry on the field and all that, and then second half, I think they'll step on the gas on defense and offense, and so I think Ohio State will win that game 42-21. Second game, Ohio State plays Oregon. Last year, they were supposed to play at Oregon. It was supposed to be a home and away type situation, but Ohio State and Oregon obviously didn't play last year because of COVID. So they've rescheduled that game for a later time to be played at Oregon. But this year, Ohio State is playing Oregon at home. I have this one as the biggest struggle for Ohio State, but I still have them winning, especially because they're at home. If it was an away game and it was this season, I may have thought differently. I may have actually put Oregon as a winner, but for right now I have Oregon losing to Ohio State 28-21. This one, I think Oregon definitely has more elite talent than Minnesota. And I think Oregon could give Ohio State a battle. And obviously, again, you got your offense that hasn't really found anything out yet. You're going to be 2 games in with a quarterback, and you're not even sure if he's going to be starting the entire season. So, I have Oregon losing to Ohio State, which means Ohio State wins 28-21 to Oregon. The next 2 games, I'm just going to lump it into one section here. Ohio State plays Tulsa and Akron. Basically just 2 small Ohio teams. Basically, Ohio State just pays them to play. So it's actually harder to predict these games where you don't really know how much they're going to score, because Ohio State could be like, okay, we'll score 50, and then we'll be done and score nothing after that, because our defense is giving up 0 points. On the other hand, you could have Ohio State being like, let's score 80, and then let's chill out. So it's not that it's not like these teams are bad. Just like, well, actually, I guess the bad as far as college football, I'm not going to knock anyone on playing college football. Better than anything I can do. But I have Ohio State winning to Tulsa 77-17, and Akron 63-9. Again, two Ohio teams that don't play on Ohio State's level and probably will never be. So I have Ohio State blowing them out. A game that last year that Ohio State kind of got a little bit surprised by was Rutgers. Now Ohio State won by 21, but it did not look convincing. And so this season, I think Rutgers may build something on, but I still see Ohio State winning pretty big. I have them winning 49-21. I could see Rutgers hanging around for maybe a quarter and a half, but definitely during the end of the second quarter, Ohio State will be up by a touchdown or two, and then they'll add on later. Rutgers are getting better, as some of the teams in the East are getting worse, but I think that Ohio State still beats them pretty good. Next game is Maryland, and again, it's sometimes hard to predict because like the past few years we've had a lot of upsets for a long time with West teams, and it's usually at West, but both Maryland's at home, so I'm still going to have Ohio State winning pretty convincingly. I have them winning 45-20. I think that at this point, it's starting to get into mid-season, and hopefully Ohio State finds some kind of chemistry with that. So I think Ohio State this game, I think Ohio State will probably start out hot, and then at the end, they'll get a couple scores near the end. They'll make it look closer than it actually was, but I still have Ohio State winning by 25. This is a game that last year that I think a lot of people wanted to see again because it's Indiana. Now, a couple years ago, if you would have told me that Indiana was going to be Ohio State's biggest problem going into this year, I would have been like, what? If you said it last year, I've been like, okay, yeah. But Indiana's been really good last year, and I think that they could probably build on to that. Could they be Ohio State? I don't know. They're playing at Indiana, which definitely helps Indiana. So they don't have to travel to the shoe and have to deal with Ohio State's crowd. I have Ohio State beating them by 10. 45-35, I think that going into the fourth quarter, this thing's going to be tied, and Ohio State's going to somehow find a way. The defense is going to shut down, and Ohio State will get a touchdown, and then last minute get a field goal to make it 10. I think this is going to be the biggest struggle for Ohio State. The other games should be easier from that. So, yeah, I think Indiana will lose to Ohio State, but that is a game that I think that Ohio State could definitely lose. I probably have a better chance of them losing to Indiana than Oregon. If something happens to Ohio State, I think Oregon early in the season maybe has a better chance. I don't know. Maybe that's something I have to get to in another video. But right now, I got Ohio State winning against Indiana 45-35. One of the teams on this list that did not have a good year last year, and that's Penn State. One bad year from Penn State, and now Penn State has talked about firing the head coach. Which shows how much of a competitive nature there is at Penn State. They want to win. And Penn State knows that they can win because they've done it against Ohio State itself. But I don't think Penn State has it yet. I don't think they have the winning team yet. Long time ago, they had Trace McSorley and Saquon Barkley. That was a team that was rivaling the whole college football landscape. But I don't see Penn State coming back this year with really big, like, we're going to beat Ohio State. We're going to... I mean, I'm not even sure they're going to beat Indiana. They may as well be the third or fourth team on this in the East. So I have Ohio State winning that game 42-17. Next game is at Nebraska. Nebraska has had a lot of losing seasons. The coach is on a hot seat. They really want him to have a winning season this year, but again, Nebraska doesn't have it. They don't stand a chance against Ohio State. I have Ohio State winning 52-28. I think it's going to look somewhat like... I think Ohio State will probably keep at least a 2-score lead for most of the game, if not more. So I don't think that at any point this thing would be recognizable as a competitive game for Nebraska. So I have Ohio State winning against Nebraska 52-28. A game that shocked Ohio State a couple years ago that I did not see coming, and that was Purdue. Now, I actually have Ohio State having a setback against Purdue, offensively, not defensively. I think this would probably be the best showing defensively, and so I have Ohio State winning 35-7. Again, I think after you go on the road at Nebraska, you come back home and you may be a little bit tired, and then you start looking ahead a couple of weeks and you're like, oh, we got Michigan, so but I think Ohio State still wins that 35-7. So yeah, a team that could claim the worst team in the East, and that would be Michigan State. Now, back in 2015, they upset the Buckeyes, and they went on to go to the college football playoff. Again, that's not this team. Different coach, different players, all that. Michigan State has looked terrible. They're worse in record right now, the way it stands. And Ohio State plays them at home. They absolutely demolished them the past 2 years. So I have Ohio State winning 59-20. I think it's going to probably be more like 42-7 by the time we hit halftime, and then backups come in and all that. So, I have Ohio State winning 59-20. Next, we got the game, and the game has more been like a free W for Ohio State recently. Ever since that overtime win against Michigan, it hasn't even looked competitive. Ohio State's been blowing them out ever since. So I have Ohio State winning 63-24. I think this is the nail in the coffin for Michigan and the head coach, Jim Harbaugh, because he, obviously, if you're other Ohio State coach or a Michigan coach, you are basically required to win this game. Another way to put that, like, if you don't win the game enough, you're going to be fired. It doesn't even matter what you do before or after that. You can go undefeated for the rest of the season and lose in this game. And if you do that multiple times, you're out of there. So I think this is the game that's going to get Jim Harbaugh fired after this game. If not after that, then the bowl game. If Michigan actually goes to the bowl game this year, I've seen a lot of things where they predict Michigan going 6-6. So if that's true, they're right there like if they lose enough games, they may not even make a bowl game. So I have Ohio State winning 63-24. I don't think that's hard to see. Michigan's offense and defense needs to be fixed. So overall, the game is Ohio State all the way. So that's it. Ohio State goes 12-0, and important games to watch, I would say, is I would definitely watch tomorrow's game against Minnesota. That's a West game. Ohio State has been notorious about choking West games, especially when they're away. Purdue, Iowa. So I'd keep a watch of tomorrow's game. Oregon, obviously, pretty important cross-conference game. Indiana, pretty big. Could decide the East ultimately, and decide who goes to the college football playoff. And then I would watch the Michigan game just because I think it would be fun to see Michigan getting demolished again and seeing Jim Harbaugh being fired the day after. So that's it. Ohio State is going to be looking good. I think that they could be the second or third best team in college football heading into the playoff. I think Alabama will probably still be the best. Going to the playoff, I think they'll probably be ranked number 1. Clemson maybe number 2. So I have Ohio State 2 or 3. Anyway you put it. But obviously something can change. You could have an injury. You could have a quarterback change. And this season for Ohio State is going to be pretty interesting. But overall, I'm happy with my predictions. I think that I will probably, hopefully, get something right here. So yeah, leave your opinions and comments down below, and we will see you guys later.